The Open Meeting Act is posted in the back of the room by the door. The reminder, all cell phones will be silenced during the meeting. Please be aware this meeting is being recorded. When speaking, the desktop microphone button must be depressed. This ensures that your comments are recorded in their entire context. The recording becomes part of the public record along with written board minutes in accordance with state statute.
If I could interject something here, Mr. Chairman. Those that have not reviewed the recording that we put on the website last week. It's very apparent if you don't push your button, we don't hear you. So especially with the recording that we're trying to make, in order for the public to hear you, please push your button. Thank you.
And before I go any farther, I know probably the proper staff isn't here, but I want to thank the staff for the good meal. That was really nice. So thank you. Roll call.
Bethune.
Here.
Jeff Bohatti.
Here.
Richard Bohatti.
Here.
Dickinson.
Here.
Groats.
Here.
Otter Shell.
Here.
Keener.
Here.
Luby.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Noose.
Here.
Rich.
Here.
Robotham.
Here.
Siebert.
Here.
Staley. Here. Weiss. Yates.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, consideration of director's request for excused absence. I have none. So move on, public comments. Anyone may comment on any matter that is not on this agenda. However, no board action can be taken until the following board meeting, according to the Nebraska Open Meeting Act, unless the board declares it emergency. Please hold comments on any listed item until it is considered. Does anyone have anything they want to mention at this time? Oh, okay, adoption of agenda. So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Jeff.
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Groats.
Yes.
Otter Shell.
Yes.
Keener.
Yes.
Luby.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Yes. Moore.
Yes.
Noose.
Yes.
Rich.
Yes.
Robotham.
Yes.
Siebert.
Yes.
Staley, yes. Bethune.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes. Approval of minutes of the November 17th, 2022 Board of Directors meeting. Second. Roll call.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Groats.
Yes.
Otter Shell.
Yes.
Keener.
Yes.
Luby.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Noose.
Yes.
Rich.
Yes.
Robotham.
Yes.
Siebert.
Yes.
Staley, yes. Bethune.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, the next thing, Water and Regulations Committee report, Mr. Miller.
Okay, Water and Regulations met on December 8th at 9 a.m. in the NRD office. Committee members present were Bethune, Bohatti, Dickinson, Groats, Miller, Moore, Noose, Siebert, and Yates. You can see the other staff, directors, and guests that were here. Action item 1. Gerald M. and Janet M. Leaf own 59.76 acres in the southeast quarter of section 3510-1. Property is watered by a well construction permit UBB 1-5918. Mr. and Mrs. Leaf would like to transfer to an additional 28 acres in the northeast quarter of section 2 of 9-1. Both tracts are in Seward County. This transfer fits within the groundwater transfer rules, and the application is attached. The motion is to approve groundwater transfer T-116. That motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Questions or comments on this? Roll call.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Groats.
Yes.
Otter Shell.
Yes.
Keener.
Yes.
Luby,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Robotham,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Stella, yes. Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item two, Dalen and Lacey Hall own 160.57 acres in the northeast quarter of section 3293. Property will be watered by well construction permit UBB 1-5927. Dalen and Lacey would like to transfer to an additional 130 acres in the southwest quarter of section 3393 owned by Connie Hall. This transfer fits within the groundwater transfer rules. Application is attached. The motion is to approve groundwater transfer T-117. That motion carried 7 yes, 1 no, and I so move.
Questions on this or comments?
Yes.
Yes, Rhonda.
Okay. I went down to look at this transfer. And I know that it fits within everything in our groundwater, but if you look on here, and I think Marie stated that they're going to remove this pasture to irrigate it also. I went down there and looked at it, and this is a very deep trench. And this is, I talked to the neighbor up here also, and he's told me that there's not much water down here in this area, and that the well that is already on his property over here probably wouldn't supply enough water to irrigate both areas. And that's probably why he's putting in another well over here. And I know that this fits within everything, but I think maybe transfers need to be looked at a little bit, maybe have a little bit more, because this is going to be highly erodible ground once he tears this pasture out. And I know we don't have the regulations over that. That would be up to the NRCS to look at that. But erosion is part of the NRD's responsibilities. So maybe there needs to be something stated, because if you go below the half-mile line, the neighbors stated that there's probably not much water for irrigation there. I just want to bring it up. I know that we can't vote it down or anything, but I think maybe we need to start looking a little bit more at water transfers, because the only reason I went down there is because it's strange. It seems strange to me that we had an area that wasn't irrigated already. And so when I went down there, I could see then why it wasn't irrigated. He needed to buy this land to get water to transfer down to the other part.
Did the neighbor struggle with having enough water?
All he said to me was, I know it fits within the guy. He didn't want to say anymore, you know, doesn't want to be a bad neighbor or anything, but he said he knows it fits within the guidelines. And that's why, and that's why they're putting it right up here in this corner, which is right next to his land over here where he has irrigation wells.
I got a question for Josh.
Yeah.
Like on a deal like this where this pasture is going to get torn up. The NRCS is aware of that, or FSA, NRCS. And if it's, and I don't know if this is highly erodible, and I don't even know what all the, if it is, but don't you have certain practices they have to do if it's highly erodible? Or
So
explain that real quick.
to answer your first question, yes, we should know in advance. That
Okay.
doesn't always happen.
Okay.
How the procedure works is they're supposed to go into FSA, request a 1026 from FSA, and then it gets sent over to us. Now, the rule says that they need to be following a plan. It
Okay.
does not say that they have to be following a plan developed by NRCS, so they can develop their own. But we do spot check. And if they are spot checked, they have to control the erosion on their land. Ditch to ditch. Typically is exempt from that. So if it's road ditch to road ditch, it comes across the property like that. Because it's influenced from the land itself.
Oh.
That's a good question. That falls into a little bit different rule, but the rules state that they need to be controlling sheet and wheel erosion.
Okay.
And we encourage everybody to have a conservation plan developed with NRCS, because then you know that it meets the requirements if it were to be spot checked. Or if there was a whistleblower complaint, any whistleblower complaint, we would go look at.
Okay. Okay, well, I just wanted you to mention sort of what
That cover?
yeah,
Well,
that answers my question, so, okay,
I don't know if you want me to. Oh, just brief, I have worked with some NRDs that do have some requirements on that plan being developed prior to permits being permitted.
okay,
So I have worked with some of that.
okay, okay, thank you. Oh, it's John.
To be considered highly erodible, is it not a certain percentage of the field?
33%.
Push your button, John, please.
Is it not a certain percentage of the field has to be highly erodible?
33% of the field has to be highly erodible. Now, just generally speaking, the rest of this has been determined. So we would just focus on that field and
So the pasture would be a field of its own.
on its own that we would look at until in the future. And I believe right now we're holding off. I can't tell you the exact number of years before we would merge those. Once those are merged, we would re-look at it and see if the total percentage of the field is over, highly erodible is over 50 acres or 33%. And that, the reason why those are separated falls back into the, I think it's the 18 Farm Bill when RMA became part of FPAC and for crop insurance purposes. Holding that off, and that's why we don't merge them right away. It changes.
Larry,
None of these rules we have ever been called stone. That's why they're that way. When something like this comes up, future boards can look at it. Maybe it just needs tweaked a little, or maybe it's a bad rule. But the past boards have never been shy about admitting something was wrong and fixing it. And I'm assuming that's what it's gonna be on out. Because we're not perfect and we find things that were wrong. If they're wrong, admit they're wrong. Don't be stiff-necked about it. And take care of it.
okay. Is there any other questions or comments on this transfer? Roll call.
Groves,
Yes.
Undershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
No.
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
News.
No.
Rich,
No.
Robotham,
Yes.
Seibert,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
I'm gonna pass on this.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
No.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Yates,
This is a pass 1-2 vote.
I haven't been here for the whole, no.
I will vote yes.
That carried 12-4 when not voting.
And the,
Aquifer well abandonment cost share assistance program payments. 7 aquifer quality wells abandonment cost share system program applications have been approved for final payment totaling $4,984. That list is attached. The motion is to make cost share payments for 7 well abandonments as received by the committee at a cost of $4,984. That motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second,
Any questions on these? Roll call.
Undershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Robotham,
Yes.
Seibert,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Groves,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item C, Vado Zone Study Payment. 2 invoices have been received for work completed on the Vado Zone Study from October 1st through November 30th, totaling $10,400.83. Those invoices are attached. The motion is to pay University of Nebraska Lincoln for work completed on the Vado Zone Study totaling $10,400.83. That motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
yes,
News,
Yes.
Rich,
yes,
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Ottershell,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item D, Regional Groundwater Modeling Payment. Work completed on phase 2 of the Regional Groundwater Model. An invoice was received for work completed from October 22, totaling $1,071.25. As a project lead, the district will cover 100% of the bill to Brown and Caldwell and request reimbursement from the other 3 basin districts and the Department of Natural Resources. A total of $168,999.35 remains in the project budget. That invoice is attached. The motion is to pay Brown and Caldwell for work completed through October 2022, totaling $1,071.25. That motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Luby,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
yes,
News,
Yes.
Rich,
yes,
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Ottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item D, 1, a contract amendment has been received from Brown and Caldwell to extend the project until this June 30th, 2023. This amendment is for time only and not additional dollars are being requested. The extension would allow Brown and Caldwell time to complete model runs, allow the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources time to review the work, and give Brown and Caldwell time to complete the final report. The motion is to enter into a contract amendment with Brown and Caldwell to extend the modeling work until June 30th, 2023. That motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
yes,
News,
Yes.
Rich,
yes,
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Ottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item E, on-farm research partnership. Kendall Seabird has submitted soil sample analysis invoices for 2 on-farm research partnerships project dealing with nitrogen management. The total of the 2 invoices is $174. Under the on-farm research partnership program, the Upper Big Blue Natural Resources District will reimburse the cost of soil, water, and plant tissue analysis for projects dealing with groundwater quality. copy of the summary sheet is attached. The motion is to pay Kendall Siebert for 2 on-farm research project and analysis costs totaling $174. That motion carried 8 yes, 0 no. And I so move. I believe there was a abstention.
Yes,
There
there
should be
is.
7, 0, and 1.
Yeah. Is there any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Moore,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Abstain.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Ottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
that carried 16-1.
I have.
Materials for resale watermark sensor payments. Staff has purchased 450, which is 150 sets of watermark sensors for the district irrigation scheduling equipment discount program. An invoice has been received from Klein Sales and Service for $18,900. That invoice is attached. The motion is to pay Klein Sales and Service for 450 watermark sensors totaling $18,900. That motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
News,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Ottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Moore, Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Item G, Zone 4 monitoring well construction. Staff has located a cooperator just outside of the Osceola Wellhead Protection Area, GWMA number 2, Zone 4, willing to let the district install a set of nested monitoring wells on their property. Staff would like to continue working with the landowner to site the wells and release a request for proposed drillers for well construction. The motion is to instruct staff to release a request for proposal for the construction of a set of nested watering wells in GWMA number 2, Zone 4. That motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Rich,
Yes.
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Ottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
Discussion and no action items. Legal notice was printed. We had an Open Meetings Act was posted in the back of the room. Rules enforcement, just over 80% of the annual water use reports, irrigation have been turned in. Staff will begin process for those producers who have not completed their reports by December 16th. The complaint process. Well permit summaries, we had 5 well construction permit. K Junction. Requested continue. District 5, Rural 5 review. Had a good discussion on soil sampling. Next month, we will discuss inhibitors. And with no additional no additional business, that's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, John. Yes, Rhonda.
I just have one comment I want to make that maybe sometime you should be discussing what you're going to do if you're going to have a zone 4, 5, 6, and 7 when this gets to 15, 20, 25, and 30. Also, I got a new map of these. We still have the highest in pediatric cancer west of the Mississippi. This is a new updated map.
Before we go any farther, I apologize, Kevin, but Kevin Peterson is here and he's going to be one of our new directors. He's the one up in Larry's area. So sorry I didn't get you introduced earlier. So good to have you here. Okay, now we'll move on to Projects and Programs Committee. Rhonda?
The Projects and Program Committee met at 10:22 on Thursday, December 8th at the NRD office. Committee members present were Richard Bahati, Hottershell, Keener, Rich, Robathan, Staley, Weiss, Yates. You can see the staff, other directors, and no guests. Action items. Item A, Nebraska Buffer Strip Program, second quarter payments. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payments of $2,978.24 for 4 Nebraska Buffer Strip Program contracts for the second quarter of fiscal year 2023, as recommended by the staff and reviewed by the committee. Motion carried, 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions on this? Comments? Richard seconded, I
Okay,
think,
thank you.
yeah. Roll call.
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Hottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item B, York Minix Park restroom request. The city of York has completed the restroom facilities at Minix Park. Through an agreement with the Upper Big Blue NRD, the NRD will provide 25% of the local costs not to exceed $10,000. The final cost was $125,073.25. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of $10,000 to the city of York for construction of the restroom facilities at Minix Park as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. Motion carried, 7 yes, 1 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this, comments? Paul.
That isn't that.
Peyton Parker Lane.
Yeah, is that this place?
Yes.
It's the restroom in conjunction with the park.
Is there, Linda?
Yes.
Any other questions or comments? Rhonda?
There is some pictures.
Larry? Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm getting absent-minded. In the week or 10 days past, Ray Redfern gave a tour, I think on Channel 10, I watched part of it. And he toured the park and said how it was built and was involved in it. And he made a nice plug for Pioneer out here and the work we've done out there. And did a little bit about the one downtown and just the general recreation areas around town, the bike paths, what there was. So it was a good little presentation. And we looked pretty good in it.
Okay, good. Is there any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yeah.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Rich,
yes,
Robotham,
Yes.
Staley, or excuse me, Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
recharge playground installation and payment request. Dostal Construction has completed the installation of the playground at Recharge Lake. Final invoice was submitted by Creative Sites. Minor adjustments were made for the initial quote for dirt work completed by the NRD. Extra concrete work for bench pads, hydrant, sidewalk, and drain, and the seating costs were removed. Seating will be completed by others in the spring of 2023. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of $26,013 to Creative Sites for the installation of the playground equipment at Recharge Lake as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. Motion carried, 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions or comments on this? Roll call.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes,
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
item D, Pioneer Trail Shoreline Access. Staff has been working on plans to improve the shoreline access at Pioneer Trails as recommended by the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission 2018 Fishery Report. Staff is planning to cut back the east shoreline bank and having a 10-foot berm from the boat ramp south to the emergency spillway. Improved shoreline access at Pioneer Trail was one of the top priority projects selected by the board during the fiscal year 2023 project budget development. Erosion on the bank of the emergency spillway also need to be addressed. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD staff prepare it and a design and specification and request bids for the East Bank shoreline improvement at Pioneer Trail Recreation Area as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. Motion carried, 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions or comments on this? Roll call.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes,
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
item E, smaller picnic shelters, Pioneer Trail, Recharge, Smith Creek. Staff has been researching various types of picnic shelters. Staff prefers the same type of shelters installed at Recharge Lake and Pioneer Trails, Cedar Forest Products. These shelters are well constructed. Board instructed staff to look into different types of shelters. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD staff prepare a request for bids for 3 smaller picnic shelters and include the rebuilding of existing picnic shelter at Smith Creek. Staff will include quotes for the Cedar Forest products shelters and invite contractors to propose other types of shelters. Motion carried, 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
second,
Questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes,
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
motion carried.
okay, discussion and no action items, the publication of the legal notice, Open Meetings Act, Land Treatment Program. There was one new NSWCP land treatment project with a cost of $7,500. Private Dams Program, the Hank McGowan private dam bid was received on December 7th. NRCS staff will work with Hank McGowan to notify the bidders. The Richard Bohati private dam should go out for bids within the next few weeks. The Terry Christmas Dam design is near completion and should be out for bid soon. Bolgren Dam Pipe Shoreline Maintenance, Johnson Service Company from Kearney is developing a plan to utilize a cured in-place pipe at Bolgren Dam. NRD staff has been working with the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources on this project. Staff will submit repair plans to NDNR for approval, which will conclude a waiver request to eliminate the need for a drawdown. Oxbow Trail Recreation Area Domestic Well Piper Inc. has completed the installation of the domestic well, water line, hydrant, and drain line. Clement Electric will be hooking up power to the well. The concrete pad at the hydrant will need to be completed. Oxbow Trail Recreation Supply Well, staff is working on updating the supply well specification for Oxbow Trail. The well site will be located west of the northeast parking lot. Langworthy Rhine Miller Dam update. Sean Parks of Olson is completing the field report from soil samples taken at Langworthy Rhine Miller Dam on Thursday, November 9th. Sean initial comments stated that it appears that multiple layers of fill were placed within the pool area, which could have been done within a short period of time or over a longer duration. Staff has developed an initial plan to remove the fill material and remove portions of the sediment that have accumulated over time. Water Quality Management Plan, Lake Hastings additional target area for Upper Big Blue NRD Water Quality Management Plan. The public meeting scheduled for December 8th in Hastings to discuss community goals regarding aquatic restoration of Lake Hastings may be postponed due to the weather, and it was. Nebraska Department of Environmental Energy expects EPA approval of the Lake Hastings WQMP soon. The NRD will then enter into agreement with NDEE and contact with JEO Consultant. Additional information. Dorchester 2A rock on upstream face of dam. The contractor Gaina Trucking has hauled the rock to the site and will begin placing the rock on December 8th. And I just want to add one other thing, that it had been my hopes that I could bring forth plans to add more playground equipment to other recreation areas. And I think Smith Creek could really use some playground equipment there. And then maybe after that, Oxbow Trail. That we adjourned 11:01, and that ends my report.
Good. Thank you very much. Okay, now we'll move on to the executive committee, the report, Bill.
The executive committee met at 11:05 on December 8th, 2022 in the NRD office. Committee members present were Yates, Staley, Miller, Rich, Seaver, and Hunter Shell. Board Chairperson Yates acknowledged that we published legal notice of the committee meeting on November 29th, 2022 in the York News Times. Yates advised those present that the Open Meeting Act is posted by the entrance of the boardroom. Item A, payment to North Printing Company for the Blueprint newsletter. The committee reviewed an invoice from North Printing Company in the amount of $11,148.34 for printing the fall 2022 issue of the Blueprint newsletter. Motion to approve payment of $11,148.34 to North Printing Company for printing the fall 2022 edition of the Blueprint newsletter. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions on this?
Is that quite a little cheaper than that?
I don't know if we're capable
We couldn't print
of
that.
doing that. Crystal says no. Yeah.
But we couldn't have that kind of quality.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know because she doesn't want to do it.
No,
We don't have the equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're to turn out that, I'm gonna call it quality. That's right.
We used to do that, Paul, and then once we started turning it over to them, we were using up so much ink and everything that we're using on everything else, it just got more reasonable to go through them.
That's fine. All right. Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Shell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Noose,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item B, in March of twenty twenty-two, the district accepted the proposal from Yonda's Music and Pro Audio to upgrade the audio video system in the boardroom for $64,628. At that time, Yonda's requested a down payment of $32,000 to allow them to order the necessary components before any price increases occurred. Due to supply chain issues and chip shortages, installation was delayed. On November 13th, 2022, Yonda's was on site to install most of the improvements. The components that have not yet been shipped are the additional microphones in the new soundboard. Yonda's requested partial payment of $15,816.65 for the work that was completed. The remaining contract balance is $16,811.35. Motion to approve payment of $15,816.65 to Yonda's Music and Pro Audio for upgrades installed in the boardroom. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Questions on this? Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Hattershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Nuce,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Robotham,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff, Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item C, the 2023 NARD Washington DC Conference is tentatively scheduled to be held on March 18th to the 22nd, 2023 in Washington DC. Motion to approve out-of-state travel for any director and up to 3 staff that wish to attend the 2023 NARD Washington DC Conference, which is tentatively scheduled to be held on March 18th to the 22nd, 2023 in Washington DC. The motion carried 9 yes and 0 no, and there's no board action required on that. The discussion and no action items is the procurement process for the storage and maintenance shed. The outgoing director recognition was held yesterday for Larry, Rhonda, Dave, and Linda. Congratulations and thank you for your service. Dave, you have anything on the personnel report?
We've had a little bit uptick in applications. I think some of it's due to the graduation in December. We will let you know if we find a adequate candidate.
Okay, the learning sessions and winter daytime meetings, there's a sheet attached that gives all the dates and times of those meetings. You can see all the upcoming events, and that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Larry. Push the button on your mic.
I realize there's no board action item on item C, but you better limit that to no more than 8 board members. Because if you have 9 there, that's considered a meeting. We've never had 8 go, but I think you should put that number in there. Just to protect yourself.
Okay.
Or you'll be holding open meetings and no question DC. Could be accused of it.
Okay.
The other option would be is to advertise it in the public notice, and whoever wants to travel to DC to check up on us could.
Okay.
Just be sure you don't get caught by open meeting law. That'd really embarrassing.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, now we'll move on to the financial statement and approval of bills.
In your package, you'll see our typical fund summaries and balance sheets for the month of December, or actually November, excuse me, and then expenses for this outgoing November. I'm happy to answer any questions.
What was our sponsorship at the land judging contest?
Okay, Crystal, go ahead. She was in charge.
Can you hear me? Okay, yes, so that we collect money from each of the participants. And then we are billed by the land judging committee. And we write one check rather than have them collect from each of the schools, each of the participants. So it's $2 per student that we collect, and then we are billed from the state committee for it. So it's just I think you will see on the financial statement, I had a miscellaneous income of $922. That was the money in, and then the money that we were billed was less than that. So we made a little money on state land judging. Don't tell Joel. Okay.
On 447.04, replace breakers and receptacle for $2,100. What happened there? Did somebody run over one or?
On.
Yep.
We replaced all 12
Oh,
because they're all getting kind of torn up
oh,
and
okay.
normally we get 1 or 2 a year and Mick just thought, let's have Nissen go out and replace everything. So everything's new out there for next year,
Okay.
all 12. At recharge.
Okay, thank you. Bill.
448.06. Hatch Company on a service agreement. That computer related?
No, it's equipment related. Marie can tell you about it.
We have a Hawk spectrophotometer out in the lab that we do our nitrate testing with for water samples. And we have that serviced and calibrated annually through the company, which is Hawk. And they just want us to do like a 3-year agreement. So once every 3 years, we budget money to have them do the service and calibration.
Motion to approve the financial statement.
Second.
Is there any other questions? Or comments on anything? Roll call.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Puttershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Luby,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Robotham,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Wise,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Hey, Josh.
Good afternoon. My spiel earlier didn't cover this.
Okay.
Go through our programs. Equip, when I was here last time, we were just about ready to have our, sign up deadline. I believe it was the Friday after the meeting. We ended up with approximately 140 Equip applications throughout the 5 counties. RCPP was the same deadline. Approximately 40, I believe there's actually 36 total. But that includes our adjacent counties that fall within the NRD boundaries. Then CSP, we had approximately 5 that signed up. So we're processing those applications now. Actually, we're going through right now, getting our ranking templates all set up, ready to go. We'll start ranking those here right after the first of the year for all those. And when national releases funds, we're able to start pre-approving those contracts and start getting those obligated. That's what our focus is probably gonna be on throughout these winter months through the cold, so. As was mentioned earlier, dams, we have 3 that are in multiple stages. One was already out for bid, and then 2 other ones that will be out for bid here really soon. And then we're got a couple that we have in the works that we're having looked at, so. Those are our engineering practices that we're mostly focusing on right now. As you know, with the dry temps, or dry conditions, as far as our structural practices. It's hit and miss, depending on where we're at. We have to analyze each one and make sure that we're able to, but hopefully after this last little bit of moisture, we can pick up on some of those projects if it doesn't freeze and too solid. So we'll just be analyzing those terrace projects that we do have typically, they're mostly over in Seward County. And working on those as we can, if the moisture stays up. I did see in the NRD next year, we will have the range judging contest, I believe. It's gonna fall. They put it out to us in Upper Big Blue. They did designate a county as Butler, so we might have to sneak across the line if that's where they absolutely want it, but I'll be getting more details on that, sharing that with. Yeah, so. Staff report, I reported last time that we had the new soil con and sewer that is in place in there. The Geneva Resource Con is open still. Along with the Seward Resource Con will be leaving at the end of the month, so that will be open as well. So those two positions be advertised. And then, of course, we have the technician, the CET, the area, the NRD wide technician lead that is still open as well. So we're looking to fill those three currently. So any question?
Geez, I guess not. So thank you very much, Josh.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the NARD report, Paul.
Sitting on your table with the other papers are copies of the new bylaws for the NARD, the foundation and the risk pool. These are the final copies were voted on and adopted. I do have lists of the changes that were made. Basically, it was mostly just wording that legal counsel recommended. So that's all I got to report this month.
Okay, Paul, that is not a action item on our agenda. That will be included in the executive meeting next month as a ratification of these bylaws. So you have a month to look at them or call Paul and talk to him about the changes.
So each district has to agree to them or
Because we're all agencies that use either the foundation or the association or the risk pool.
Okay.
Yes, we will need to ratify them, and all 23 NRDs have been asked to ratify.
What if we don't?
What if we don't ratify them or call Paul? I'm not for sure what the penalty would be. I think if we don't ratify them, we would not be able to use them, and that would be detrimental to the NRD.
Okay, so that chairman's report. I want to thank the 4 board members, the outgoing directors for their service. It's 90+ years. So thank you very much. You know, I've enjoyed working with all of you. So thank you for that. And also I want to thank the staff. I know most of them probably out in the other room for the reception. They did a really nice job preparing the reception. And so thank you for that. The other thing is that meeting is coming up in Dorchester for that caucus. And I don't have the date in front of me right now and time. Is it the 6th?
This Friday the 6th.
Yeah.
Do we have a location?
It's going to be at the Civic Hall there in Dorchester. It's pretty small. It's right on Main Street. I mean, you won't be able to miss it.
It'd be about a block, half a block to a block north of the co-op filling station on the south end of Main Street.
And what time was that?
It's 10:30.
Okay,
And what our idea was, we'll start at 10:30 caucus. And then those that want to go down, there's a burger barn that has a special on Fridays. A burger basket and the lower and the upper would go down together and have a lunch together, at lunch.
The other thing is they will have to swear in the members.
Yeah.
That were elected before the meeting.
yeah,
Yeah,
Whether they were on the board before.
Yeah. Those that are attending this meeting will have to be sworn in prior to the vote taken on that Friday. Those that do not attend that meeting will be sworn in at the committee meeting on the 12th. I better not, what day is?
yeah, well,
12th.
yeah,
The 12th.
yeah.
And that's if you had opposition or not, anybody that was on the ballot this year.
Anybody that was elected, newly elected, so. Yeah, okay, Rhonda, wait, Larry's been waving at me. Go ahead, Larry.
Kevin said he has to leave in just a few minutes, so I wanted to tell you guys to be nice to him. I don't know Kevin very well, but we have a lot of mutual friends. And they all say he's a good guy and should do a good job. So don't pick on him, just because he's replacing me.
Okay,
I will say there are 70-some names on that board. And I serve every one of them. And every one of that word on the name asked to be on there. Nobody was just thrown on there because they didn't want to be on there. Out of those 70-some names, there were 2 resignations I'm aware of. Because they just decided this wasn't what they wanted to do. There's several deaths in officers, which is always a sad thing too, but it's been a real ride. And it's gonna be different. I've always said my family, my farm, and the conservation work, that was my 3 things in life, and they're not gonna change. But you're gonna see a fat man sitting back there quite often, I think. So keep up the work and remember, none of these rules are written in stone. If they need changing, admit you're wrong and change them. But be sure you're doing for the better, not just, that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
okay, you're welcome. Rhonda,
Lynn said I could say a few words. I've timed it. It's like 3 minutes.
okay, I'm watching the clock.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm just kidding.
Thank you, board members and staff, for allowing me to serve with some of you. It has been one of the most important times in my life. Up until the last few months, I was proud to say I served with great people who loved and respected our natural resources and were truly interested in the well-being of the residents of this district. During this campaign, my name was dragged through the dirt on social media and worst of all in bars across the district. Jokes were made and lies were told. Votes and support were bought for the price of a drink. This I could have overlooked because these individuals did not know me or the hard work I have put into my responsibilities as a board member. But what I cannot forgive or overlook are the actions of some of you board members who condoned and supported this type of behavior because you did know me and knew the work I was doing and why I was doing it. People contacted me during the campaign with information that they said I should use against this type of campaigning. I just am not, nor ever will be that kind of person. One of us had to have integrity and show what being a true Christian is. I, above all, am a Christian woman. But now, since the election is over, myself and my family are being targeted and cyberbullied with lies from an individual with a fake account. Now, I want all of you to think about how violated you would feel if someone did that to your child or grandchild. This type of shameful Trump-style campaigning that occurred, which was only meant to spread hatred toward me, has made a target of not only myself and my family, but Larry, Linda, and their families as well. To any board member who let the rumors that it was only 3 board members who supported changing Rule 5, you are just as guilty. I could accept my loss with dignity if it had not been for not knowing the reason behind dragging Linda and Larry into this degradation. These people had nothing to do with the running for this position of the board. Then my family nor I deserve this type of treatment. Now that this type of behavior has been allowed, this will be the normal tactic when someone wants to run for a board position or someone on the board does not get their way. This could very easily happen to any one of you. I will always be able to say that I introduced the most used and effective program to this district, the Easy at-Home Nitrate Test, which will improve the health of many people and will undoubtedly save countless lives. And it was done with very little expense and just a simple idea, of which I have many more, but I will share those ideas with other groups. No matter what is done in the future, none of you will ever be able to say in honesty that I did not make a difference, was not an asset, or that I did not do a good job on the board. I know some of you have tried to say differently, but someday people will see through that lie as well. But do not think you've gotten rid of me. I will be here at every meeting if possible. I will be reporting on the actions or inactions of the board. The one thing these last few months have done is strengthen my resolve to make each one of you accountable to the board people who voted for you. I was told public scrutiny is a good disinfectant. I find it amazing how many high-ranking officials and departments are interested now in what is truly happening in NRDs across Nebraska. They are from in the state and some from other parts of the country and have asked me to keep them abreast of what is happening. I want you to know that I did not draw this attention to you. This was done by some of you and your inactions. The world is changing and the producers in this district will one day realize I was trying to preserve their way of life by helping them change with it, not take it away as I have been accused. Over the years, I have heard repeatedly that farmers just want to make a living and give their children a chance to continue in their way of life. I can tell you that this may not be in my lifetime, but it may be in some of yours and will certainly be in your children and grandchildren's lifetime, that there will no longer be a need for the products that are currently being grown in these very fields or the ability of the soil to even produce a product for sale. It will be some of you, not I, who have taken away that way of life. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything they want to comment on? Oh, Doug?
Okay, I was asked to be on the nominating committee.
Yes. And
Along with
before you go any
Richard.
farther, Paul, would you be on the nominating committee? Doug and Richard and you. Okay, now you can go ahead. Sorry, Doug.
Okay, if you're interested in the office, get in contact with me. Otherwise, I'm gonna try to talk to each individual. So we got some candidates running for office and can fill our office position.
And do we need the ballot made up by board in January?
I'd
So we
like
still
to-
have, yeah,
I'd like to have majority of it done before the committee meetings. And the committee meetings at that point, it kind of finalizes, so we have it to put in to the board in January meeting. So if you would, please contact me or one of the Richard or Paul over here. If you would, please contact us and we'll get things rolling. I'll call, see what kind of results we get here, and then I'll be getting in contact with both of you. And we'll set up a time we can get together.
okay. Does anybody have anything else they want to bring up at this time? Okay,
We adjourn.
okay. Is there a second? Okay. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
All right.
Opposed? We are adjourned.